Those who spent years calling her too ordinary missed the point entirely. The monarchy didn't need another aristocrat. It needed someone relatable, stable, and modern. Someone who could look a nervous child in the eye and make them laugh. Someone who could carry a nation's attention with gentleness instead of theatrics. Someone who could withstand pressure without bending out of shape. Kate Middleton didn't become extraordinary by leaving her ordinary life behind. She became extraordinary because she kept the best of it with her. And the journey that brought her to the palace gates, grounded, steady, unbroken, is the very reason many believe she is destined not just to become queen consort, but one of the most respected royal women of her time. From the moment William and Kate stood together at the altar, it became clear that theirs was not a royal marriage built on ceremony alone. It was a partnership, deliberate, equal, unhurried, and forged through years of learning how to move in step with each other. But the deeper truth, the one the cameras don't catch, is that their bond didn't become strong because they lived a perfect life. It became strong because they faced the fractures of royal history head-on and decided, together, that they would build something different. For William, marriage came with ghosts. He had watched the breakdown of his parents' union unfold on global television. He understood what resentment looked like when frozen behind a princess's smile. He understood how loneliness could seep into palaces that looked perfect from the outside. And he understood how dangerous it could be to marry young, marry fast, or marry for the wrong reasons. It's why he waited. It's why Kate waited. And it's why the relationship that emerged from their long courtship carried a strength the monarchy hadn't seen in decades. Their early years as husband and wife didn't begin with pomp. They began in a quiet corner of Anglesey, where William served as a search and rescue pilot, and Kate lived the life of a military wife. Shopping at local stores, cooking evening meals, greeting neighbors who could hardly believe the future queen was buying eggs next to them in the aisle. Many expected her to struggle. Instead, she blended in like she had been preparing for normal life her whole life. And that's exactly what William needed. After growing up inside a family where privacy was a myth and vulnerability a luxury, Kate offered him something more valuable than status. She offered him peace. Even the royal guards who stood watch during their occasional London duties noticed how grounded she was. Guardsmen, who saw generations of royals up close, often spoke quietly among themselves about the difference between royal polish and royal calm. Kate had the latter. She didn't rush. She didn't flinch. She didn't demand. She absorbed each moment, each protocol, each crowd as if they were simply new chapters in a life she was honored to step into. For a woman who had never been shaped by palace walls, she carried herself like someone born to move through them with quiet authority. But their partnership wasn't built only on Kate's steadiness. It thrived because William, too, had made a decision. He would not repeat the patterns he grew up with. He would not leave his wife alone while criticism rained down. He would not let tension build in silence. He would protect her, fiercely, publicly, privately, even when that meant challenging tradition. And he did. When tabloids circled Kate's early life hunting for stories, William intervened behind the scenes. When photographers crossed lines, he confronted the issue directly. When she stumbled under unimaginable pressure at the start, he pulled her back from the glare and gave her space to adjust. Their relationship was never a prince rescuing a commoner. It was two adults learning how to protect what mattered most, each other. Perhaps the strongest example of this came during their short separation before marriage. William's schedule was brutal. Military training, royal obligations, and the pressure of choosing a future queen. But the break didn't expose weakness. It revealed their backbone. Kate didn't lash out or seek attention. She carried herself with dignity, showing the world that her value didn't begin and end with a royal romance. And William, watching from afar, realized he didn't want a partner who melted under pressure. He wanted one who could stand firm beside him when the crown eventually rested on his shoulders. When they reconciled, the foundation of their relationship shifted. From then on, William wasn't just affectionate. He was intentional. He brought her slowly into royal life, not tossing her into the deep end like Diana had been. Kate attended carefully chosen engagements, not overwhelming ones. She met members of the royal guards who would accompany her for decades. She learned the subtle balance between being warm and being regal, And she did it all without losing that grounded presence that made the public fall in love with her. William and Kate's partnership didn't imitate the monarchy. It modernized it. They worked as a team. They coordinated their schedules, often refusing to live separate lives, simply because tradition said royal couples should. They took on engagements together, becoming a united front rather than independent operators. And Kate matched William's pace with an energy that surprised even longtime royal observers. What truly set them apart was their emotional communication, a skill rarely seen in royal history. William trusted her opinion. Kate trusted his instincts. If one of them was uneasy about a public appearance, they talked. If one of them felt overwhelmed, they stepped back. They didn't wait for cracks to appear. They strengthened the structure before anything could break it. In a family where unresolved tension had often cracked marriages in half, William and Kate's commitment to transparency became their quiet rebellion. Their first years of public life proved something else. Kate wasn't just a supportive spouse. She was becoming one of the monarchy's greatest modern assets. Her ability to connect with ordinary people, especially children, softened the royal image. Her calm presence beside William made him appear more relatable. Her fashion choices sparked global interest without overshadowing her substance. And her reliability, perhaps the rarest royal quality, gave the public a reason to trust her. Inside palace walls, her influence grew in ways the public rarely sees. She helped shape their household to prioritize emotional well-being. She encouraged a more hands-on parenting approach that broke royal precedent. She became William's anchor, his sounding board, his closest advisor. Not the decorative consort history sometimes reduced royal wives to. And it didn't go unnoticed. The Queen respected Kate's consistency. Charles admired her discipline. Even the senior courtiers, notoriously skeptical of newcomers, began to acknowledge that William had chosen well. Yet their partnership wasn't simply about affection or support. It was also about purpose. William and Kate understood that the monarchy's survival depended on more than tradition. It depended on relevance, authenticity, connection. They had to prove the crown could evolve, not crumble. So they built a public image that felt human rather than mythical. They showed vulnerability when appropriate. They laughed naturally. They let the world see a royal marriage that actually looked real, not manufactured. In an era suspicious of institutions, that authenticity slowly rebuilt public faith. By the time they welcomed their children, George, then Charlotte, then Louis, the monarchy wasn't just watching a young couple grow. It was witnessing the foundation of the next royal generation being built by two parents determined to give their children everything they themselves had not been given: normalcy, affection, stability, and a home not divided by duty. At the heart of it all was their partnership. Strong enough to survive pressure, humble enough to grow with experience, and modern enough to signal a new era for the British crown. William and Kate didn't simply marry into royalty. Together, they began reshaping from the inside, setting the stage for a future where the monarchy feels less distant, less rigid, and far more human. And the question quietly rising within the public, and even inside palace walls, was simple. If their partnership is as strong now, what will it look like when they carry the weight of the crown itself? For centuries, the journey toward the British crown has been a tightly choreographed ritual, a sequence of titles and transitions guided by tradition, shaped by duty, and watched by millions. But with William and Kate, the old pattern carries a new kind of weight, because the future monarchy doesn't just rest on lineage anymore. It rests on trust, on relevance, on whether the public believes this couple can carry the crown into a world far different from the one Charles inherited. And at the center of this shifting landscape stands a question that seems simple but is loaded with history. Will Kate Middleton truly become queen? To understand that question, you have to follow the path laid out for her. Not the fairy tale version, but the real one shaped by law, custom, public opinion, and the changing heartbeat of a nation. The first step happened quietly when she married William. She became Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge. A graceful, traditional title, yes, but a placeholder, a beginning. The real journey starts not with a wedding, but with a succession. When Charles eventually becomes king, William's title changes instantly. In that moment, Kate becomes something far more significant: the Princess of Wales, a title that carries the weight of Diana's legacy, the expectations of the nation, and the unspoken pressure of stepping into shoes that shaped modern royal history. And though Kate has always forged her own identity, not one shaped by comparison, that title brings a symbolic shift. Overnight, she becomes the most visible royal woman after the reigning queen, the woman who will someday stand beside a king. But here's where the tension begins. Tradition says Kate becomes queen consort when William becomes king. Legally, constitutionally, that's the path. And yet the monarchy is no longer just a legal structure. It's a mirror reflecting public sentiment, fears, hopes, and scrutiny. And that's why the future feels more complicated than it appears on paper. For years, polls quietly revealed something unusual. The British public overwhelmingly favored William becoming king sooner, even before Charles. It wasn't rebellion. It was sentiment, shaped by modern values, by Diana's memory, by the public's connection to William and Kate as a relatable unit. For some, Kate symbolizes a gentle reset of royal expectations, warm but composed, relatable yet regal. For others, she represents stability in an era where institutions are questioned more than respected, and all of that influences how people envision the crown's future. But the monarchy does not run on public votes. Charles will take the throne, and when he does, Kate's role amplifies. She becomes a woman who must bridge two eras, honoring the institution's past while helping guide its evolution. As Princess of Wales, she steps into a position defined by compassion and charisma, qualities that once made Diana the world's most beloved royal woman. The pressure is immense, the comparisons unavoidable. But Kate has something Diana never had: preparation. Years of slow, steady training. Years of understanding the mechanics of royal life. Years of growing a thick enough skin to withstand storms without surrendering her warmth. Still, even with training, the transition from Duchess to future queen comes with political nuance. The crown today is more symbolic than ever, a stabilizing presence rather than a governing force. And that symbolism must adapt to a world that moves faster than tradition can. That's why William and Kate's modern approach matters so much. Their low-drama partnership, their hands-on parenting, their quiet normalcy, these things strengthen public trust in a way no ceremonial display could. But behind the scenes, the path to the crown also involves navigating an ancient institution resistant to sudden change. Royal courtiers manage everything from protocol to public image. Titles are more than names. They're signals of power, heritage, and hierarchy. And every transition, Duchess to Princess of Wales, Princess of Wales to Queen Consort, must be managed with extreme precision and emotional intelligence. Kate's evolution through these stages isn't just ceremonial. It's emotional labor. It's diplomacy. It's learning how to carry global influence without appearing political. It's mastering the balance between tradition and relatability. And perhaps most importantly, it's preparing to support a husband who will face an unprecedented level of scrutiny the moment he ascends the throne. But the real tension lies in the future. Will Kate's queenship be traditional, or will it redefine the role entirely? Modern Britain is changing. The monarchy's relevance is constantly questioned. Younger generations care more about authenticity than ritual. That means Kate's role will be less about symbolism and more about connection. Less about jewels and more about trust. Less about being unreachable and more about being understandable. And then there's the emotional question. Is she ready? Not just for the crown, but for the life that comes with it, for the responsibility of representing a nation, for the constant pressure, the global spotlight, the expectation to remain unshakable even when life becomes unbearably human. Some believe the quiet strength she has already shown, her composure, her resilience, her empathy, makes her not only ready, but uniquely suited. Others wonder whether the weight of the crown, combined with the memory of Diana's struggles, could challenge even someone as grounded as Catherine. Yet through all the speculation, one truth remains. Kate's path to becoming queen consort is not a matter of if. It is a matter of when. And when that moment arrives, she will become more than a title holder. She will become the face of a modern monarchy navigating a rapidly evolving world. One day, the state coach will roll through London streets lined with tens of thousands of spectators. Flags will wave, bells will ring. And Catherine, no longer the girl from Berkshire, no longer the Duchess stepping into a new life, will sit beside King William as Queen Consort Catherine. Not because of fairy tales, but because she earned her place through strength, patience, and a steady hand at the center of a transforming institution. The future of the British monarchy often feels like a long corridor lined with portraits, some familiar, some faded, all quietly watching the next generation take its place. And at the end of that corridor, illuminated by a mixture of tradition and uncertainty, stand William and Kate. Their footsteps echo differently than those who came before them, softer, more human, more aware of the world outside the palace walls. And perhaps that is why so many people believe the greatest transformation of the monarchy may arrive not through grand reforms, but through the simple, steady way they choose to lead their lives. To imagine their future, you must picture a moment that hasn't happened yet. The instant the crown passes. When Charles's reign ends, whether after decades or naturally with time, William will take an oath that transforms him from prince to king. The cameras will swing toward him, but the world's eyes will also move instantly to Kate, not because she seeks attention, but because her presence has slowly become the balancing force of the modern royal story. She is the bridge between royal duty and everyday relatability, the symbol of stability in an era when institutions rarely feel stable. And as William steps into his destiny, Kate steps into hers. Her role as queen consort isn't ceremonial. It's strategic, emotional, cultural. For the monarchy to survive the realities of the 21st century, political tension, generational change, global scrutiny, it needs more than history. It needs connection. And connection has always been Kate's quiet power. You see it when she bends to speak eye level with a child on a hospital visit, when she laughs easily during public engagements, when she carries herself with a mix of formality and gentleness that makes even nervous guests feel at ease. These small moments form the foundation of trust, the kind the monarchy will desperately need in the years ahead. But their future isn't only about them. It's about the next generation they're raising. George, Charlotte, and Louis. Born into a world where privacy barely exists in childhood is a fragile concept, will grow up under a parenting style the monarchy has rarely embraced. Hands-on, emotionally attuned, protective without being isolating. William and Kate are rewriting the script, giving their children the grounding neither Charles nor Diana fully had growing up. And by doing so, they're shaping a royal future not built on pressure, but preparation. Yet even with the strongest foundation, the future carries its uncertainties. Britain is changing. Public sentiment shifts like tidewater, sometimes warm, sometimes distant. And the monarchy, for all its tradition, must adapt or become irrelevant. William understands this intimately. He doesn't want a crown to sit on a pedestal. He wants it woven into everyday life in a way that feels natural, not imposed. Kate reflects the same mindset. Her initiatives around early childhood development, mental health, and parental support reveal a forward-thinking vision, one that ties monarchy to societal progress rather than ceremonial extravagance. Still, their greatest challenge may not be external. It may come from within the royal system itself. Being monarch and consort demands flawless composure at nearly all times. The pressure doesn't sleep. And though Kate makes it look effortless, the truth is that no one truly prepares for the emotional toll of becoming queen. It is a life lived under relentless attention, where humanity must be balanced with protocol and personal feelings must be managed behind closed doors. The weight of that responsibility can test even the most grounded individuals. But Kate has something that many royal consorts before her did not. A partner who understands what emotional fragility looks like inside palace walls. William has seen firsthand what loneliness, lack of support, and public expectations can do to a royal marriage. And he is determined, fiercely, intentionally, not to repeat those mistakes. Their partnership, built on communication and mutual respect, will be the backbone of their reign. It will allow Kate to stand firmly beside him, not as a supporting character, but as a co-architect of a modern monarchy. In the years to come, Britain will likely witness moments that feel historic not because of crowns or ceremonies, but because of authenticity. A king who speaks openly about mental health because he knows what childhood grief feels like. A queen who champions early development because she understands the power of emotional stability. Royal children who grow up seeing their parents as both leaders and loving humans, not figures trapped by protocol. These small shifts, multiplied over time, could redefine what monarchy means in the modern world. And then one day, the moment will arrive. The Abbey filled again with music. The state coach gliding down the mall. Crowds stretching for miles, waving flags, some celebrating continuity, others witnessing history for the first time. William crowned, the weight of ancestry resting on his shoulders. And beside him, Catherine, no longer the woman the press called a commoner, no longer the Duchess who learned royal life piece by piece, but Queen Catherine, carrying the role not with glittering spectacle, but with steady hands and measured grace. In that image of the future, something becomes clear. Kate's queenship will not be defined by the crown placed on her head, but by the humanity she brings to the role. She will not seek to dazzle like Diana, nor dominate the stage like earlier queens. She will do what she has always done, show up with humility, consistency, and warmth. And perhaps that is exactly what the crown needs. Not a ruler of hearts through tragedy or glamour, but a healer of trust through steadiness. Will she become Queen of England? Yes, the path is set. The duty is written. But the real question is deeper. What kind of queen will she be? The answer seems almost inevitable. A queen who understands ordinary life because she lived one, who understands emotional fragility because she loved a man who grew up inside it, who understands the weight of legacy because she is helping build one. What does the future of the British monarchy look like? And will Kate Middleton truly become Queen of England? This full documentary-style breakdown explores the emotional, political, and historical path ahead for Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. From their early relationship to the pressures of royal life, the legacy of Princess Diana, the role of King Charles, and the destiny waiting for William and Kate. This is the full story behind the crown. Expect deep insight, emotional moments, royal guard imagery, and a cinematic narrative that reveals what the monarchy could become in the decades ahead. If you care about the royal family, this video is for you. Crown. Backhand index pointing right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. What kind of queen will Catherine be? Stopwatch timestamps. Pro, clean documentary style. Midnight, opening hook. 102, the early life of Kate Middleton. 318, William and Kate at St. Andrews. 604, press pressure and public scrutiny. 840, the breakup that changed everything. 1155, building a modern royal partnership. 1530, life in Anglesey. 1810, becoming Duchess of Cambridge. 2145, the path toward Princess of Wales. 25:20, the Charles question and public opinion. 28:58, will she become queen consort? 33:44, the future of William, Kate, and the crown. 38:00, final thoughts and outro. Label high-ranking YouTube tags, SEO Royal Family Pro Set. Royal Family, Kate Middleton, Prince William, Queen Catherine, William and Kate. Future of the British monarchy. Princess Diana legacy. King Charles, Royal Guard story. Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton Queen. William and Kate documentary. Royal Family documentary. Timeline documentary. British royal history. Royal succession explained. Modern monarchy. Kensington Palace. Queen Elizabeth legacy. Kate Middleton future queen. Royal revelations. Royal analysis. Royal couples.